Hello, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Okay, so it's another What's Happening, and was happening. You know who finally?
I'm trying to think what was happening. Hey, was it a Bill Cosby thing?
No, it's Cheech and Chong. You know who figured?
Cheech and Chong.
You know who figured it out on the first bounce? Pinellas.
There you go.
Yeah, and he goes, "No, that's from Born in East L.A. It's the Cheech and Chong movie."
Yeah.
And he's teaching immigrant workers how to talk.
There you go. Cheech man, what's happening?
Yeah, there you go.
Right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yay!
Congratulations.
So you can come back. So I don't know if it was something on my side because I unplugged everything. I switched the headphones off.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, the whole time you were away, it was doing it. What did you change when you came back?
He put on a different headset.
Yeah. Nothing. I put it on a different headset, which is the same as the old one, just a different color.
Well, it's obviously the color's the problem.
That's it. Okay. Take that one out, put it on the fence, and call it art. Or put it on Lucy's studio. She can use it out there.
Yeah, call it art. Yeah.
I bought my backup set as well. So
I don't think we're going to need that, buddy. I think we've determined the problem that. How do they call it in French? La garbage. Oh, now Bruce is leaving.
See ya.
Holy mackerel! And he's not wearing any. He's closing the windows because behind him is a window that's bright. So we are talking to. This is another episode of What's Happening. It's unedited, so I just hit the button and fired it up.
Unedited.
Unedited. It's like the hardest word in the English language.
Unedited?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and now you've gone to close those blinds. Did they help at all, Bruce?
Well, I'm not so washed out anymore.
No, you're not so washed out.
No.
No, we were talking.
It didn't seem to bother the dog. He's still sleeping on his bed, and the cat, she just doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. You should just move into that house. Save you moving again.
Oh, there you go. It's all right, but I want to get back to the old one.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. The old haunt.
Behind you.
The old haunt.
What kind of basement does this house have?
This one it's got a full basement, of which probably about 3/4 is finished as basically a standalone apartment.
Okay.
And that is where Mr. Cameron is residing. Far away from his parents. It's got like a kitchen rough in. You can put a stove and stuff in there, and open hardwood floor, and then the other part's bedroom, and it's got a 4-piece bath down there.
So Mr. Cameron is your son.
He's the youngest son, yes.
And does he have women coming in and out all hours of the day?
Occasionally he has his girlfriend over.
Oh, okay.
She lives down in Newmarket. She'll visit on occasion, but right now with everything going on, there's like no visiting.
Okay. You're not allowing visiting?
No.
Wow, you're kind of a hard ass with this whole thing.
Well, I look at it. I've got not the greatest of heart because I have heartbeat.
That's a good
heartbeat and stuff. So and I'm going to be 64 in a couple of weeks. So I'm kind of getting the prime demographic, and
I accept that.
And on occasions, and the doctors have looked at me. On occasions, I do have episodes where I get shortness of breath, and we can't figure out what's doing it. So
I think that's. I think you make a very good.
We're kind of playing it safe, and. Cameron and Jean will go out, walk the hound, but they're all apart. But otherwise, we're staying home.
Well, then don't go to work, you twit. Sorry, that's the wrong word. Twit's the wrong. That's a bit too hard. How about because we're talking to Peter Borcherds, although we're not talking to him, it's just you and I. How about the word twat? Don't go to work, you twat.
No, it's twat.
It's twat.
Yeah, it's the other pronunciation.
Well, all right, Bruce. The modern.
That's a bit hard.
Hey, Peter, you're the horse you rode in on.
So okay. So why are you going to work then and putting yourself at risk?
Actually, at work, I'm in my office, pretty much isolated the whole day. Anyhow, I'll occasionally go in the shop to see what the guys are doing, but we're all practicing like safe separation at the office.
Okay.
And I'd go nuts if I was here all day.
Are you guys still allowed to go out to work if you can't work from home?
Our business has been deemed a essential services. We do services for municipalities for water supply.
Right.
So we're still doing some of the municipalities aren't letting us do things. Some are, but we've got some work that we're going, and hopefully, in a couple of weeks or so, things will improve and the restrictions will be off. But it's certainly different driving around Barrie these days with where it usually take me a long time to go from my house to the post office and back to the office. It's there's no traffic anymore. Yeah. So it's
up there on the north. On the north side, it's not bad. Anyways, so maybe you and I should we even that should be a great What's Happening if it's just you and I talking the entire time and we never talk to Peter.
Well, it's like a live show for me. I'm just listening in.
Oh, there you go. What shirt are you sporting there, Peter?
I don't know. Keep yourselves one of the ones from a local store down in Slocum in Devon.
I can tell you what shirt I can tell you what shirt he's sporting if you'd like me to.
The number 54?
No, the first one he grabbed out of the closet off the pile.
But it's got a different number on his sleeve. So
it looks like it's the first one he grabbed off the pile. If you ask me.
How did Lucy let you out of the house in that?
Is that better?
Yeah, now he's got 3. Now he's got a shirt that says 54 over his left breast.
And 81 on the sleeve.
81 on the sleeves.
Yeah. And on the sleeve.
And he's wearing the Stuart Sterling hat 557.
Yeah. So today's show is brought to you by the numbers 557, 54, and 81, and the letter WH.
What's on the left sleeve? What's on the left sleeve?
It's a badge.
A badge.
British nautical outfitters.
Oh, okay.
They do sailing clothing and stuff.
All right. So hang on a minute. Like today.
So you wear that when you're out on your inflatable boat?
Sometimes I do. Yeah. Normally it's my waterproof that keeps me warm. It's pretty cold out there.
Yeah, it can get kind of nippy, can it?
Yeah, definitely.
Damp. It's cold and damp. Now here's a guy we can ask about cold and damp, Lionel.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have that. We can have that. Yeah. That was
guffawing about that the other night, and I supported our friend who was wearing the toque in Springfield, even though I don't think he needed it. But the damp really cuts through you.
Yeah, and we'll ask Peter about Vox microphones too.
Yes.
So, anyways, 81, 54, and 557 add up to 692.
Wow.
There we go. That's the
So that's today's show is brought to you by the number 692. All right, Peter. So this is What's Happening, and we're talking to Peter Borcherds, who lives all the way across the pond in Great Britain, and where are you? Some County Road Lane Farmers Market, something or other.
He's like
you know what?
Lane, I know that.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
What's the I'm going to look up here. I'm going to look it up here. Hang on.
Right.
Here,
Peter Borcherds across from the turkey farm.
Yeah, Peter Borcherds.
Yeah, well, it's easy to find.
Marlow.
I mean, literally, if you want to find our place, you just need the house name and the postcode, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't need the long address.
You need the house what?
The house name.
Yeah.
And the postal code, the zip. Well, I quote them to the zip code.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, that's each postcode is for a particular road. In fact, for one side of a particular road. And so if you put our postal code in, it actually comes directly outside our house.
And all the houses in the country have names, right?
No. Names or numbers.
Okay.
Well, the ones in the town mostly have numbers. Mostly in the countryside, it's mostly names, depending where you are.
I thought that's what I just said. All the houses in the country have.
I see. In the countryside, out in the countryside.
You see what happened there, Bruce? Sorry. The word had a double meaning.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
But he's like Prettywood House or something like that, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Have you been there, Bruce? You went to dinner with him.
Gene and I went and visited 2018, I guess it was. A couple of years ago, yes. We took the Marlow donkey up the line, and Peter met us at the station, and toured us around and got frustrated by the time school's getting out. Then we had a lovely evening with Peter and Lucy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lucy,
very good evening.
Lucy, the very well-known chef in Great Britain.
I wouldn't say.
Well,
her boss is the well-known.
Well, but
she's well-known, but yeah.
How many?
Well-known-ish.
Well-known-ish.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's say, how about this, Peter? For this would be a good test. If you and me and Lucy went out to dinner, what's the chances? Who's more likely to be recognized? Me with the evil overlord with the world famous Model Railroad podcast, or Lucy, who has written several cookbooks in Great Britain?
Okay, here's a quote. Where are you going out for dinner? Over in their territory?
Yeah. Like if we're at a local restaurant, he's never told me where he lives, but let's assume I get.
Well, you've posted enough things to my house. You should know my address by now.
Actually, no, the one I have on my phone is your work address because you keep telling me to send it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
The nearest other town, the bigger town to us, is called Marlow, which that's where we took Jean and Bruce. And the last time Lucy was there, I think 3 people stopped her in the street. They recognized her. Whereas no one stopped me in the street.
And how many people do you think would stop me?
It depends where you are. In Barrie, probably a lot of people. But,
I just said, didn't I not just say? We come over there for a lovely dinner. It's you, me, and Lucy. We're at your local watering hole. Have you ever listened to the podcast?
Well, it depends what kind of publicity I do between now and then.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, all right. So the last time you went to the nearest main town from where you live in the countryside, you were in there, and 3 times Lucy was stopped because people knew her.
Yeah. So she was quite shocked. She was quite surprised, and I said to her, "I don't know why you're surprised. If she's well known because of her boss, and she's done books with her, and she's also got, I think 7 of her own books.
Yeah.
So she's known by a lot of people, but I suppose compared to me, she's well known.
Yeah.
Compared to her boss, she's not, but people do know her. They know her name.
Exactly. Okay. And
around the country, they know her name.
Around the country, people know of Lucy Young, who is a well-known, I say chef, you say cook.
She's a cook as opposed to a chef works in a professional kitchen, as in, professional kitchen in a restaurant. Whereas a cook either works from home or they work from a private kitchen.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce?
Yes.
This is why we can't have the cameras on, because I can see you reading something on your computer.
Oh, sorry, I was...
No, that's okay. You can go ahead and read, but that's why we don't have... I'm turning my camera off because I was
looking at the map of Peter's house.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I have the camera.
Weird, I can see myself still.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't switched the camera off.
There we go. Technology, it's a wonderful thing.
I did press the camera and nothing happened, but I pressed it again. It's gone now.
There you go. So, all right, Peter, this is probably going to come out about a week from probably like April 3rd, 4th or something like that. I got a question for both of you guys. I see me being able to do many of these interviews and me getting getting several. They'll be okay if I save them for later on down the road, won't they? As I get along more and more and more.
I don't think there's a best before date on them.
No, okay.
No, they don't expire.
Yeah. Use this podcast by April 25th or self-destruct.
Okay. Well, and it's always last week on the AML, anyways.
That's true.
That's very true.
Okay, so it's today is March 28th. Is that correct?
It is.
So we've the COVID thing's been going for a good solid 2 weeks now. Where are we at in Great Britain, there, Peter? That's your cue.
That's my cue.
Yeah, I'm Lionel, or the evil overlord. Bruce is Bruce, the moderately agitated mail boy, and you're Peter, the other secret agent. Yeah, you know what? We know what you do, the whole MI6 thing. So you don't have to every answer. You don't have to pause and go, because we know you're Peter, and we know what you do.
Yeah, but people may be monitoring his transmission.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, especially at the moment,
there's probably a surveillance van parked across the road, looking like some ordinary piece of farm equipment, but it's actually tuned in right on his garage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The police have been given extra powers here, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, it's so where are we at here? in Great Britain with this whole thing? How is life doing in the Peter Borcherds household? Is Lucy Young? Did Lucy take for legal stuff? Did she take your last name when you got married?
Yes, yeah, she's officially Lucy Borcherds.
Okay,
but for work she's just Lucy Young.
Yeah, I don't think
so. All her work stuff is all Lucy Young. Her books and
right.
Everyone at her work, in the TV industry and everything know her as Lucy Young.
Right.
So that's her work name, her professional name. It's a working name.
Right.
But legally, she's Lucy Borcherds.
Yeah, you're not pronouncing your last name correctly. It's not Borcherds. It's Borcherds.
It depends who you speak to. If you speak to me, it's Borcherds. If you speak to someone else, it's Borcherds. It's Borcherds. Right. There's so many different variations of it.
So Borcherds isn't even close.
It's without the. There's no. It's a hard. Borcherds.
Yeah, there's
Borcherds, not Borcherds. Borcherds.
Okay. So, anyways, what's happening in Great Britain? What's happening in your part of the world with this whole thing? Are you guys staying at home or what?
Well, we effectively locked down. So we're allowed to go out, exercise once a day, for about I think up to an hour. I think so we can go for a walk or a cycle or dog walk or whatever. We can go to the shops, so we can go to the supermarket or the butchery, whichever ones are open, or the pharmacy. We can go to work if we can't work from home, but most people are trying to work from home, those who can, obviously. You can't drive from somewhere to go for a walk, so you've got to walk from your house. And the police they've just been given extra powers to either give you a fixed penalties fine or, in extreme circumstances, actually arrest you if you refuse to comply. If you've driven somewhere to go for a walk, they can tell you to go back. If you refuse, they can arrest you or whatever. But apart from that, it's pretty good. I went for a walk just now and quite a lot of people out cycling and walking, but everyone keeps at least 2 meters away from each other when you walk past someone. Our local public house or pub has got they're still doing takeaway. They're closed for normal. You can't go into it. You can't go for a drink or anything. But they've still got their food open, so you can go get a takeaway pizza or a hamburger or pasta or anything. They do takeaway of that, and you have to go pick it up from outside. They've got a table outside, so they put it there. Then they go away. You've got to come back and pick it up, separately. Keeping distance.
So it's just like a spy drop.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Actually, my friend in the next town has a good restaurant which I find handy if he's actually your friend and the food is actually good. It comes in a lot handier because you wouldn't want him to be your friend and have kind of a crappy restaurant. Then you got to go eat, but it's crap. So, anyways, that's what his deal is. It's got a pretty slick thing. You order ahead of time, and he uses the credit card. And then you drive up, and somebody says, you drive up, and somebody comes, stands like 6-7 feet from the car and says, "What's your name?" Strang. He goes back in, and he sets it on a table, and you get out of your car, and you go pick it up off it. It's actually pretty slick.
Yeah. So it's a lot of the places are doing it here. Well, some of the farm shops are doing deliveries. So they do a box delivery of vegetables. Some of them do vegetables and meat and milk and stuff like that. They're being very good, and there's also a local Facebook group that's set up called Cookham SOS, I think, because Cookham's our nearest town, our nearest village rather, and a lot of people have volunteered for that. So they'll go, if an older person needs something from the grocery store or needs a prescription from the pharmacy, they'll go and collect it for them, drop it off to them. So there's a whole volunteer group set up for doing that kind of thing.
Right.
And myself, I've just signed up for there's a drone group because I do commercial drone work as one of my jobs.
Right.
There's a group set up that's just in case the local police need help with, maybe policing that, people are walking where they should be walking or making sure they don't go places they're not meant to go. They might call on extra help with drones.
Okay.
To go and check that people are not doing what they shouldn't be doing. And also if someone goes missing, again, search and rescue, that kind of thing. So there's a whole group set up just in case we're needed.
Right.
That's a countrywide thing as well.
Sure.
And there are lots of volunteer groups all set up to help. And our National Health Service, NHS, they asked for volunteers, and apparently over 600,000 people in the country have volunteered.
Wow.
A few people I know have volunteered, so they're on call 24 hours a day. And if anyone needs any, basically it's for deliveries from hospitals and stuff like that. If anyone needs extra help, they're just helping out the medical staff if anything's needed. There's emergencies.
That's cool.
It's worked out pretty well. But yeah, we just obviously we can't go visit our families or anything, so we're all doing Skype or Zoom or something like that, just to stay in touch. FaceTime as well, to stay in touch. That's the only hard thing at the moment is going to visit people, especially for Lucy. So it's not great at the moment. But
why is it harder for Lucy? You don't like people or something, or?
No. Unfortunately, her father passed away last Friday.
Dear. That's
he passed away in a foreign country.
Oh my goodness gracious!
He and Lucy's mom were in Lanzarote on holiday.
Right.
And it seems like he had we're not sure yet. It was either a stroke or brain hemorrhage. We don't really know yet until we get the full results back. But so of course, her mom managed to come back. Two of her brothers went out to go collect her. They managed to get a flight out there last Saturday.
Right.
And they came back on Monday with help from the insurance company. So of course she can see her mom, from a distance, but she can't give her a hug or anything like that. So at the moment for the family, it's we're split all over the place. So
yeah,
it's hard for everyone at the moment.
It would be very hard. Very, very hard.
That's not great.
No, that's would be a very difficult thing to deal with in a time like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
luckily one of her brothers lives right next to where her mom lives.
Oh, good.
We only live 10 minutes away.
All right.
The other brother lives 10 minutes the other side of us. But the one lives about 2 hours north. So it's harder for him because he hasn't seen her at all, whereas we've all seen her.
Right.
So we're getting through it. It's a very tight family anyway. So
that's what you got to do. You just got to get through it. You got to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And apparently he's due back when they're bringing him back. I think it's on April the 1st, I think.
Right.
They bring him back. So probably have a funeral, just close. I think at the moment, they're allowing 24 at a funeral, but that varies between places. Some people are only allowing 5. So obviously it depends what happens with that.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, it's weird times.
Weird times, absolutely.
Just even with friends, work and stuff. We're all just sitting at home and just speaking to each other virtually. So strange.
So that drone thing is kind of cool. How long have you been doing that?
About 3 years. Commercially, I've only been doing it a year, but I've been doing it actually, I think, since 2017.
Okay.
But commercially for the last year, actually, as a business.
And how's that going?
In fact, my renewal's coming up in end of May, I think.
And how's that going?
Commercial. But that's a second business at the moment. I'm still, just starting out.
And how's that going?
Well, it's quite slow at the moment because I just haven't had time with my main business doing IT support. I've been so busy with that, I haven't had much time for the drone stuff. But
okay.
I've got one of my IT clients is a landscape gardener, so I'm doing a few projects for them. Some big projects. One is at a hotel, a big landscaping project they've got there, and one's at a private house. They're doing a huge, big landscaping project. So I'm doing progress photographs for them. So every month or so, go out and do 20 or so photographs, so they can see the progress over time of the project.
All right, cool.
I think I've seen the one for the hotel. It's kind of interesting following along.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's really, really interesting work. I mean, obviously I'm going to concentrate more this year on getting more work once all this stuff's over, because obviously we can't go out and do any work at the moment. Drone stuff, we can't go out. So I'm just going to concentrate later in the year of getting this business up and running, and hopefully one day make it my main business.
All right, and so that plays right into the way you carry on a conversation. I apologize.
Right.
I apologize. because of course you drone on.
Droning on.
Oh my God, that was so rude.
I haven't heard that. It's like I haven't heard that one before.
Oh, really? Okay, all right. So there you go. I hate it when people say. So is that a common joke then? That's
among some of my friends.
All right, okay.
Like, you're training on as usual. It's like, thanks.
Yeah.
That's what friends are
for. Yeah. If I had a quid for every time I
prefer the one where I'm flying high again. That's mind you. That's in Canada and California, isn't it? Or you're not allowed to do that here legally yet.
Well, yeah, but you know it does happen. So who cares, right?
Exactly.
As long as the constabulary don't confront you.
Yeah, but for full disclosure, the answer is no.
Yeah. Okay. So what's this
anymore?
It's like the Ringo Starr song. No, I don't do it no more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than usual. Yeah. So what's this video you posted the other day on? Holy mackerel! There is so much stuff on this Friends of the Podcast page. Oh my God, we're never
going to get caught up.
No, we never.
We'd have to be doing a 24/7 to have a hope in hell of getting close.
Holy mackerel.
I think about 8 of them. Are just me. I think the last 8 are probably from me. I think.
Yeah, because I'm trying to find the one, and I'm scrolling, and I'm only back like 3 days. Holy mackerel, this is going to be great. I love all these pictures. I love all these pictures of Tracy running around the plane taking different pictures
that's cool.
of the sky. That's pretty funny. Here's one I'm passing in. It's a picture of the engine and how come they call them engines or motors on? You'd think on a plane they'd have some fancy name for the
engine, because that's what they used to call them, an engine, aircraft engine.
Now
they're jet engine.
Jet engine, yeah, there you go. You need the word jet.
As opposed to a turboprop, prop engine. It's jet engine.
Okay, jet engine, yeah. I was missing the word.
Kind of like a jet engine with a prop on it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I'm scrolling. I'm trying to get back to where you posted about this video that you made. About your layout.
The layout updates.
He doesn't even remember it. Yeah.
I posted a live one.
Yeah, but
a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but you also posted a link to your latest. Man, I am scrolling.
Let me look at my YouTube page. I think that'll be easier.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to go there. I'm going to your YouTube page. I'm giving up on the scrolling thing. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm going to put in. I'm going to put in Peter Borcherds.
It won't come under Peter. Put under Rochelle Intermodal.
All right.
It's still called that.
Rochelle Intermodal. I'm doing that now, Bruce.
I am also efforting this.
It was a week ago, which was 1 week ago, which was last Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Last Thursday or Friday.
There it is. Anyways, building a new N-scale model railroad, episode 1. And I liked that it was 5 minutes and 38 seconds. You can't let your videos get too long.
I'm trying to keep them short. I mean, all my previous ones have been about 20 minutes or so. I'm just trying to keep them as short as possible now, just to rather do, a bit more often.
Yeah.
But also just shorter so people don't have to go through 20 minutes of a video.
Yeah, exactly. So what's this? So it says building a new N-scale model railroad, episode 1. And it says, I'm just starting to build a new N-scale railroad. Please follow along on my journey, starting with the initial research. So,
yes.
Okay. So what's the research? What are you building?
So I don't know if those who know what I've been doing before, I did one based on Rochelle in Illinois. This new one is going to be from Chicago to Aurora. So where we went for the AML day out when we had the picnic last year. So I'm going to do initially Chicago to Rochelle, to Aurora, which is the Metro line. I think they call it the BNSF racetrack, I think. So it's 4-track main line with freight and passenger. And the research at the moment is just working out which part I'm doing and all the different bits along the line. So the different stations, which stations I'm going to model, which industries along the line I'm going to model. There's still a daily I think it's once daily, a local switcher that runs. So I'm just trying to find out where that runs, what industries it still serves, and what other industries are along that line. Because I see I'm using Google Maps. There's a lot of interchanges between UP, CN, I think CP as well, Norfolk Southern. And there's a lot of industries along near those interchanges. So just at the moment, just researching all of that before I decide to do, what I'm actually going to do before I start a track plan.
And how big is your shed or your building, your outbuilding?
Yeah, someone asked me that the other day, and I know you've mentioned this in the podcast recently. You should know.
Yeah, you should.
But I can never remember.
I think that was Dave Abelys I was yelling at about that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'm just looking at somewhere. I replied to someone on the page.
The funny thing about your garage, though, it's kind of like the TARDIS. It looks so small from the outside, but when you get in there, it's huge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, the actual room for the layout is 19 foot by 10 foot.
Wow, for end scale.
That's for end scale. Yeah. Wow. So that's the actual space I've got at the moment. Bearing in mind it's sharing the space between. Now I've got turbo trainer in here for the bicycle. I've got a treadmill. There's a freezer. There's a few cupboards and stuff. So I've got to just work around, basically around the outside of the layout. I mean, outside of the garage, which
would be enough for end scale, anyways.
Yeah, more than enough. Yeah,
you got the important thing. You got the beer fridge in there too.
Yes, which is still. Well, I've gone down a few levels. I need to fill it up again. Oh, that's the problem with working from home with a beer fridge. Yeah, this is my office as well, where I'm in the moment in the garage.
Okay. Seriously, how often do you use a treadmill? Seriously.
Well, I don't, but Lucy does.
Okay.
At the moment, she uses it a few times a week. At the moment.
All right, that's good.
But I've got the turbo trainer that I use on the bike. At the moment, I get it about once a week.
Turbo?
I'm going to do more of that.
Yeah, sure you are.
Well, Neil Erickson wants to have a cycle with me sometime, so I need to arrange a time when we're both around, because he does this online, this virtual cycling that I do as well.
Okay.
So we can find a time we can both do it.
Yeah, see, I couldn't do that because I wouldn't be able to keep up with you guys. Although the last time I was in Florida, which was be about 3 weeks ago now, it was on the 19th of March or whatever it'd be roughly 3 weeks ago. The 2 days before I left, I must personally. I had something in January. I had no energy in February, and I couldn't even get out and hard. In the last 2 days, I was at. I have this trail that I ride on. This beautiful, dedicated trail in Florida. They're actually trying to build a whole set of trails where you can ride around the entire state, and they're beautiful. These trails. And anyways, I have one.
There's old rail. Lines?
No, they're dedicated. These are dedicated trails that they build wherever they want to go.
Okay.
And the one I'm on happens to parallel the CSX main line out of Sanford, Florida. But, so I mean, and they needed to complete the last part, and it comes out about a half a kilometer or a quarter of a mile, third of a mile. And, I jump on it. So anyways, the last 2 days, I rode it 4 times. I rode 31 miles both days. So good luck.
Wow.
Good luck keeping up with me, buddy. Good luck keeping up with me.
Well, you from what I've seen, you cycle a hell of a lot further than I do. And I've got no excuse. I've got 2 bicycles. I've got a road bike and an off-road bike, and I should have no excuse.
I have one of those.
Well, I don't have an excuse, actually.
You don't have an excuse. You absolutely don't. And this would be, Bruce, should I retell my story about I went from you used to have rollers. It was very common to have these kind of like rollers that you put your bike on.
Yes.
And you would pedal that way.
Yes, this is a good story for those who haven't heard it. But don't get ahead of them on this one.
Yeah. So anyways, I had these. So now it's very common. The most common thing now is you have a regular bike, and you hook the rear wheel into a trainer, a roller thing, but it's permanent. So you're on your regular bike and you're pedaling away, and you have this, and then you have you can have, like Peter talks about, you can have a screen, and you can cycle with other people, or you can just have a standard thing where you just cycle along watching TV. However,
that's exactly what I've got. But it's called a turbo trainer in the cycling world.
Okay, and the one with it's the one with the screen.
Yeah, well, mine's got obviously I have a TV in front of me, but I don't have a
dedicated
what they call a smart one. Mine's just a separate.
Okay.
Separate one, but yeah.
Don't ever cut in on when I'm telling a story. Okay.
Shh. Sorry. Shh.
So, anyways, I had before this, which is now what's common. It's what everybody's using. Not that long ago, you would get this flat piece of steel, and it had rollers in the middle, and it was like a conveyor belt without the belt. And then you fit your wheels on there, and the rear wheels would generate. You'd pedal, and it took a long time to learn how to get up on these things and keep your bike going. But once you do, man, you're just flying along, just like you're pedaling down the street. I preferred it actually. However, I got a little bit too brave, and one day I got pretty good at it. So then one day I was like watching TV. And I thought, and I didn't have my clicker, the channel changer right there with me, but it was on the little table beside me. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? I am so good at this. I'm just going to reach over and I can do that. I keep one hand on the bike, keep pedaling, and I'll just reach over and grab my channel changer. And the next thing, that was my thought. And the next thing I remember was laying on the floor beside the TV with the bike on top of me and a dent in the plaster in the wall that I hit. I came flying off that thing, and luckily I have like everybody, I have a 55-inch TV. Just missed the TV. I must have just missed the TV. And flying came off the thing, because I guess I was going like 15 miles an hour. And I came flying off this thing, just missed the TV, hit the wall, and I think I hit the wall myself. And the next thing I know, I'm laying on the floor, and the bike's on top of me, and there's a dent, and the wheels kind of jammed sideways. It was quite the mess. But fortunately, I missed the TV. Took me a while to get up off the floor too.
Yeah, I've seen those things. You see them when like Tour de France and stuff. You see the guys warming up using those.
Yeah.
And I've never used them. I've always looked and I thought, no, that's just an accident waiting to happen.
Which apparently it was.
See, you missed out on your chance to sue the manufacturer for not putting proper warnings on or something.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I was by myself in the house, and I'm like, and it was one of those things when you're by yourself and you do something really bad and you almost get really badly hurt. So you're laying there for a while going, I don't think I'm dead. And I don't think anything's broken, but you're kind of laying there going, I'd like to get this bicycle off of me. And of course I had CNN playing in the background. So it's like, I'm not interested in the latest polls numbers right now.
Yeah.
All right. So when are we going to start in earnest on this railroad?
I don't know yet. I'm hoping in the next 6 months. It might be before then. It just depends on when I get the research done, because I just want to do it properly the first time.
Yeah.
So just to make sure I've got everything I need. And also, I mean, the one thing I'm trying to decide at the moment is I was going to use the Fast Tracks fixtures to make my turnouts. But the problem here in the UK is we can't get microengineering track, which is ideally what you need to use, because Pico track just doesn't match up nicely with the microengineering track used on the Fast Tracks fixtures. So unless I can get a decent price shipment in from the States, I might have to just go the Pico route for the turnouts and the tracks. I'm trying to work out that at the moment.
Okay.
So I would prefer to use Fast Tracks. Obviously, I mean, it's smoother, but it's also I've got all the fixtures anyway.
Well, Gordy Robinson had a whole pile of stuff brought in. Was it what? Because he got bundles of it for his layout and end scale. So is that the track you need, or is that something else?
He's got the rail. He got rail. You can get the rail locally, but the flex track you can't.
Oh, flex track. Okay, because so you can you're doing flex track with the fast
with the fixtures. Yeah, okay, and the problem is obviously the Pico flex track. The code 55 in the end scale is actually code 80 sunk into the sleepers.
That's right.
So for every connection to a turnout, you've got to do a funny little shimming thing to get it level. And I don't want to have to do that with every single turnout.
Well, you could talk about handling all your track.
Not 19 foot by 10 foot double deck layout. No, in N scale.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I was going to pick up some from Kaylee. She had some put aside for me at Springfield, but when I worked out, my case wasn't big enough, and it wasn't. The length wasn't even diagonally. I couldn't fit it in. And the problem is with microengineering, you don't want to bend it because you can never get it straight again. Unlike Pico, they're just, it's easy to bend back straight again. With microengineering, you can't. So I didn't want to bend the track, bend every piece. So I'm just going to have to get it shipped in, I think. That'll buy a bigger case next time I'm in the States.
There you go.
It's one of the two.
So here's a question. How did you decide Chicago Aurora? What drew you to that besides, tons of commuter stuff and
yeah, I mean, when I had my Rochelle layout, I bought some of the Cato Metra sets with the locomotives and all the passenger cars. And I thought it'd actually be quite nice to have that, because I use the Railroad & Co. software to run trains automatically. And I had an Amtrak and a Metra train running automatically on my old layout. So I just happened to buy some more of it. And I thought, well, while I've got it, I might as well actually make use of it. So I thought, well, that track is perfect. Chicago to Aurora is the main Metra line. It's a BNSF line as well, that particular one. So I can have my BNSF freight and the Metra stock I've got. And I think I've got now maybe 5 complete Metra trains. So I thought that'd be perfect to do that. And then eventually I'll be able to extend it, depending on how I get on, extend the line all the way to Rochelle. And I can incorporate Rochelle as well, and we're trying to do. So that's the main reason for it, is because I already had the Metra stuff, and I thought, well, I might as well do something with it. And that's where it runs. It runs between Chicago and Aurora.
So how...
that decided my locale for me, really.
So are you basically going to be modeling Metra then, and with some side freight kind of things?
No, it'll be mainly freight, because that's a freight line. It's mainly freight that, well, I say mainly freight, a lot of freight runs on that. But the Metra will be run automatically by the Railroad & Co. software. So
all right, time out.
Effectively, the computer will run the passenger trains.
Time out, Bruce. You got to stop breathing there, buddy. All of a sudden, you had 3 big breaths. Are you running around the room or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even moved my microphone, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, all right. So it is mainly freight. So it's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be mainly freight, and then, regular passenger service run by the computer. But it'll be a regular freight running through there, manually running it, and then there'll be switching operations as well, freight switching as well.
And you said
but at least it'll allow me to do passenger. I can just sit and watch it do its own thing, run it by itself.
You said
if I want to.
You said you were going to use that software, and you said it fast. Every time you say that software, you always say it fast. And it's like, what is...
Railroad & Co. or Railroad & Company.
Railroad & Company. And what is the name of the website? Railroad & Co.? It's a very annoying name, because if people say it fast, and then you can't understand anything they've said.
Yeah.
Railroad & Co.
Well, the actual website is actually... Yeah. The website is actually freiwald.com. So FREIWALD. It's right. It's a German company. So it's actually freiwald.com is or Freiwald, if you want to say without the V.
FREIW.
FREI. Yeah. WALD.
Right. .com. And it's
.com.
Yeah. And it's so it's software.
Freiwald software.
Yeah, and it's software perfectly controlled model. So it must be very popular in Europe. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's very popular because it's German. It's mainly used in Europe, in Germany and the rest of Europe. And a lot of European railroads use this. And it's amazing what these guys do with the software. They've got completely, fully computer controlled layouts. It's amazing what it can do. But yeah, it's mainly used in Europe, but there are quite a few people in the States and in the UK who use it as well.
Okay, and I see right now they're very excited because on their forum they've welcomed member number 20,000 in their forum, so they have a lot of people using it. So yeah, and I think your job should go out and you should write a thesis about it so you can explain it to us in great length.
I'll try to do that. Yeah. I'll try to do that. Actually, I just see there's another update that's out. So I must update my software.
And how much is the original? See, this is why when we say these are completely unedited, this is the part that's unedited.
Okay.
That's me coughing. I at least push the microphone away and put my hand over it so it's not as bad. So what did you say the price of this was?
Expensive.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay. Lots of things are expensive. It's whatever people are very confused about model railroading when they start talking about the cost, because whatever your hobby is, it is what it is, you know?
Well, I'm going to choose, you've got price lists for every country. So for United States, the cheapest version, which is called the bronze version, is $164. The silver version, which is the version I've got, is $529. Okay. And you've got a gold version, which is the fully featured one, which is $800. That's US dollars.
Okay. So, and what do they say for the bronze? I've got $139. What did you say it was?
$164. Price list for USA.
Which country?
I put in Canada. I put it in Canada, and
it's cheaper in Canada. Bonus.
Yeah.
So that's Canadian dollars, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it says 130. Yeah. No, it says 139 USD,
which would be like USD? 200. Okay. Be about 200 now, but
yeah, right, okay. But they're at least they're American prices.
But anyhow, it's $30 less. So
yeah, exactly. So people should order it through Canada.
Yeah.
He's quite funny about that. Yeah. He's a strange guy. He's
you will not order our software and sell it elsewhere.
Well, because we're now outside the EU. Officially we aren't until for another September, whenever it was, or November. But he's changed the prices for us quite a lot. So it's gone up a lot for us.
Because he's mad.
But
and he's he got a bit funny about it anyway. But yeah, so it's a lot of money for us now.
Is it just one guy, or is it a company? Do you think, or what?
It's one guy, as far as I'm aware.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's just the one guy. Yeah.
No, yeah, we could start a forum, but we are having enough trouble keeping up with the fans page, so we're not doing that.
Well, that is our forum. So.
Yeah, that is our forum, exactly.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chris Atkins. Thanks, buddy. Actually, that is one of the pages I enjoy the most, is that Fans of the Modeler's Life page. That is a lot of fun, that page. A lot of people put a lot of interesting stuff on there.
It's a great page.
Yeah. So Peter.
Yes.
How difficult is this thing to set up and use? Because to me, it would seem to be like one swell way for a sort of uninitiated guy to be emulating Gomez Adams.
Yeah, it's not that hard to set up, but you've got to have detection set up on your layout first. So that's the complicated thing. So you've got to have your if you use NC or Digitrace, whatever you use, you've got to have rail detection set up or train detection set up before you use the software, because that's how this works. It brings in the input from your train detection hardware, and then it's quite easy to set up once you have that, because it's all just drag and drop. It doesn't take long to set up a basic layout showing where your trains are. That takes, you can set up one.
So
in minutes,
this thing hooks to your layout. So this hooks to your layout, and it detects where all your detection is, as it were, and then you work from there.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So using either loco buffer or whatever system you've got that communicates with your layout. It communicates with your DCC system, between the computer and the DCC system, and then obviously it picks up your rail detection.
Will it work with JMRI?
It works separately to JMRI. So like on my laptop, I've got two loco buffers. So I've got one that communicates with JMRI and one that communicates with Railroad and Co.
Okay.
So you can't communicate via the same device. You've got to have a separate, device to link to for each one.
Okay.
But you can have them working at the same time. So what I did is, with my old layout, I had. Oh, hello. Who's that?
Let's see who that is. This will be fun.
Let's see who it is. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, whose house?
Take your microphone.
That's my phone.
You still have a house?
Take your microphone with you.
You still have a landline? Oh, he didn't take his microphone with him. All right, it's just you and me now. Well, you know what? We should just end it. We should just end it and leave.
Oh, that would be neat.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, all right. Well, we're getting down to that time anyways. We've been at it for 51 minutes, so we're getting to that. I can't do too long.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
I can't get them out.
Keep them short at the moment.
Yeah.
People aren't driving to work, so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
We were going to leave while you were gone.
I don't know. I just kind of grabbed the phone and did the old pick it up and hang up type thing, because there's probably some annoying guy trying to sell me duck cleaning or something.
Well, why do you still have a landline, for crying out loud?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's a good answer.
We have a landline here as well.
Look at it this way. We're only paying $20 a month for it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a landline?
The problem we've got without one.
You still have one?
Yeah, I've still got a landline here. Yeah. The only problem is the only people who phone it are my in-laws and my mother.
Yeah, I haven't had a landline.
That's the only phone calls we get.
I bet you I haven't had a landline now for 5-6 years. I gave up on that a long time.
Well, ours comes part of our broadband package. It's you have to have a line anyway, so you might as well just have the landline.
Yeah, same here. We got it, and we just got like the minimal package. But one of my son's friends works for the local telecom company, and he set us up with a sweet deal.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Let's. Anything else we need to know, Peter, as we draw this to a close? Any more questions you have for him, Bruce?
So I was going to say, no, just this software. Then you can schedule in your metro trains, and then you have to have obviously a timetable to work your other stuff around.
You work. You can schedule in. You can create a timetable based on a fast clock or real time, and then it's. When you program it all, you tell it what speed you're going to take the trains at and all that, and it can automatically, avoid your trains that are running at the moment. So if an operator is running your train with the throttle, and you're running along a piece of track, the software blocks out that piece of track, so none of the automatic ones can go in there. So it'll automatically stop the train and wait for you to get out the way.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just make sure you get out the way anyway.
Yes.
Because it changes all the turnouts and stuff automatically. So it's you're very unlikely to have a cornfield meet because it keeps everything separate.
That's very cool.
It's very cool because it's the ultimate individual. You could build a layout and operate it yourself, and have great operation.
Exactly.
Have great operations because if you're the guy running the freight train, you got to keep getting out of the way of the scheduled trains.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to have that set so the metro run automatically, and then I'll just come and run the freight, and I'll have the timetable, make sure I keep out the way of it, and just carry on doing my switching around it, which would be quite good.
I hope you keep this. I hope you keep this up as an in-depth series because I think it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, that's the plan. Is I'm going to do regular video. Well, I say regular. I mean, I'm going to try to keep it as regular as I can, but I'm going to keep videos coming along with every step I'm going to do. So all the research, which people seem to like at the moment, because not many people do the research parts when they do videos. So I'm going to keep on with that, and then the whole progress of doing that, then working on a track plan, and then eventually what hardware I'm going to use, what software I'm going to use. I'm going to go through everything as I progress, until I can start the actual building of it.
Okay. By looking at this latest video, which I'm looking at just quickly right now on mute, you haven't been using that bicycle at all, have you?
Which one? Well, the Trek one is on the turbo trainer, so I'm using that.
Okay.
The Cannondale, no.
So
That's got flat tires. That hasn't been anywhere for about 3 years.
So were you into cycling quite a bit before?
Yes, I was. Yeah, especially in South Africa. I definitely. Yeah, I was quite a keen. I mean, I went to the stage of, and Neil Erickson will be able to. Neil in Hawaii will be able to back me up on this. I even went to the stage of shaving my legs.
Oh,
almost.
Oh, sweet.
So if if you fall off, you don't tear all the skin. Your hair doesn't tear your skin out.
Oh, is that why you do that?
It's so if you fall off, one of the reasons is if you fall off, if you've got hair on your legs, the surface of the road will grab that hair and just basically rip it.
I did not know that.
Your skin. Whereas you'd know that, yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. And
where if you got no hair, it's more likely to just get grazes. But also professionals use it because they get a lot of massages and stuff, so it's easier for that. I mean, there are various reasons why they do it. But I got to the stage of that, so I was cycling, every day. And
so did you use a blade or did you use Nair?
Blade. Yeah.
You know what I love about this?
Normal razor.
You know what I love about this podcast, and as I feel like the audio has improved, and the more the audio improves, the more fun they are, and it's like somehow we've managed over 5.5 years to get to the point where now we're talking to Peter Borcherds about shaving his legs.
Who would have thought?
I know. It's like you can't. What great entertainment.
For full disclosure, I haven't done that for about 25 years. So.
Yeah. Well, okay.
At least that's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe, should we ask Lucy? Or?
Yeah, let's ask Lucy. We got to get Lucy on here one day. So my question is, I bought this. My question is, I bought this. I spent some coin on a new bicycle last summer. My buddy in Barrie here, he owns a bicycle shop. And to his credit, Morgan, he spent all summer building me this bicycle and never asked for a penny until he was finished, because I ordered a really nice frame and all that, and it was like about $1,500 or something like that. And I took it out and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this, Morgan, because it feels like I'm riding through mud. So we did a couple of things. And he says, well, let me try putting on some new wheels and different tires. And he did that, and holy mackerel. He put on these carbon fiber wheels and the tires, and like out improved it by like 50%. And he changed the handlebar. By the time I was done, I spent almost $2,800 on this bicycle. But holy mackerel, is it ever fun? Is it ever fun to ride? Because it just goes.
I can imagine it would be. Yeah. It'd be nice and light as well, so it'll
super light. And he changed the gearing, and it's like gearing right. Oh man, the fastest I've gotten going on it so far is about there's a couple of spots on this path that I got up to 44 kilometers an hour. So I know that's not fast. That's not fast by bicycle racer standards, but for me, I feel like I was motoring right along.
Yeah, and Morgan is
I think
guy.
Yeah, Morgan is.
I think the fastest I've gone is about 70. I think.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah.
You don't want to do that. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, the thing that got to me is I have ridden my motorcycle. I always observe the speed limit when I'm on my motorcycle, and especially on the section of Interstate 4 between Daytona Beach and Orlando. I always I observe it every time. But I've gone along there and I ride there. I'll stop that. Take it from there. But I've gotten this. But I mean, on the bicycle at 45 kilometers an hour, which is about 27 miles an hour, you're thinking to yourself, "This is really fast."
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can get good speed on the slight downhill. It'd be great.
Oh yeah. All right, that's it. We've killed an hour here.
Perfect.
And I see in the video on the back wall, you got your super fan certificate hanging up.
I do. That's up there. My NMRA one's on the other side, but the super fan one.
Which one is your which achievement certificate is that one?
Volunteer.
Volunteer, okay.
Volunteer, and the other one is the the one that doesn't really count, which is the Golden Spike. I think. Yeah. A volunteer one because of all the work I've done in the British Region website. And
all right.
Over the years.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
You got 6 more to go.
Yeah, good for you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's one reason I was holding on with this other layout for such a long time, and then I decided actually forget it. There's no point doing all this work and then just tear it down anyway. I might as well just get it when I do this new one.
Yeah.
So I'm in no rush.
All right.
Bear in mind, I got this other one. I don't know what the date is on it. 2006 was my volunteer one. So
that'd be about somewhere around that time, the last of mine. So
Yes.
Been on a bit of hiatus from this program.
Let me ask you a point. Let me ask you a point blank question. I see you've been listening to these. What's happening? Is it worthwhile for me to do them? I mean, it's not a ton of work.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely carry on with them. I mean, it's been great because I've been listening to them while I've been sitting here at work, and also while just doing some stuff in the garage. Doing either doing railroading stuff. In fact, today I was doing it while I was putting new bolts on the garage door. So
there you go.
It's great to listen to, and everyone has to go for a walk every day because we're all locked up at the moment. So it's nice to have something to listen to every day while you're going for a walk.
Yeah, there's nothing better than having my voice in your head while you're walking.
Well, it makes me walk faster. So the sooner I can get home, the sooner I can switch it off. I'm only joking, Lionel.
No, you're not. Okay, so Bruce, would you like to give out our email address?
Sure. Our email address is Modeler's Life. Modelers is one L, as the USA spell it, not with two L's as Peter would spell it. modelerslife@gmail.com.
And we have a website at modelerslife.com. If you go there, there's all kinds of stuff. Crew page, all the latest episodes. And if you go there and click on the Patreon thing, you can get an extra 4 podcasts a month. And when this is all over and you're not getting a whole bunch of them, you might want to switch to Patreon because then you'll at least get two a week. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that when it's all over.
It's good value.
It is good value.
If you enjoy letting us rattle on, it's good value.
Yeah, I feel
because I'll admit there's some quality stuff over there.
Yeah, there is. And Kaylee, our pal Kaylee Zhang, officially named it the Antics Channel.
Yes,
and that's what it is. It's the It's AML. It's the AML2, the Antics Channel. So, are you ready for the end, Peter?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
drone pilots stuck inside on a sunny day.
Busted Knuckle, guests of a Modeler's Life podcast, stay at the Casa del Sol Motor Court and Inn, where late-night dancing at the Rumba Room is a magical event to be experienced.
It's another Lincoln Homer.